And Ike Ijeh is the head of housing, architecture and urban space at Policy Exchange. Ike joins me now. Good morning. Good afternoon,
Good morning.
I should say.
How are you?
Very,
Good
very
afternoon, sorry.
nice to talk to you. Now,
Nice to talk to you.
I was mistakenly under the impression we were talking to the architect of the actual building, but I'm in no way disappointed to have you on the show. Don't you worry, because
I'm glad to hear it.
I know you can tell me firsthand more about the design and what we can expect to see when this building starts to take shape.
Well, yes, as you've said in your intro, it's another skyscraper in the City of London. It replaces an older skyscraper, I think from 1950s, 1960s era. So that's been replaced, and it's been replaced by this new skyscraper, as you say, called the Jewel. Well, nicknamed the Jewel. That's not its official name, but it's very close to the walkie-talkie. It's within what the City of London likes to term, or just outside, what it likes to term is kind of skyscraper cluster.
Yes. Just out of interest, when does a building, or when does a tall building become a skyscraper?
Well, that's a really good question, and there's no official designation. I think the most sensible kind of description of it's a high-rise building and something that's noticeably higher than all its counterparts. But I mean, there's various different ways people recognize it. There's an international body which tends to say something like 18 stories, something above that. Okay. And maybe when you're getting above that kind of height, as I say, it's not definitive, but that's when people are genuinely kind of thinking of tall buildings and skyscrapers.
So how many stories will this building be?
It won't be the tallest by far in the city or in London. I believe it's about 34 stories, which, if you compare to the Shard, which isn't in the City of London, but it is in London, that's 72 stories. So it's by no means one of the tallest in London, but this is significant because it's just a kind of another reinforcement of the city's commitment to building tall buildings, which I've got to say has not been without controversy. No. The City of London is the oldest district in London. It's 2,000 years old. It's completely or pretty much covered in conservation areas. If you look at official conservation area legislation, it precludes building tall buildings because they're seen as being harmful to heritage. But you have this situation in the City of London where you do have heritage. You have lots of very old buildings. Let's say it's our oldest urban district, but you have this high concentration of tall buildings as well. So some people say that's contrast. Some people say it's chaos. But either way, it is a controversial element of kind of London's landscape.
In terms of planning, and I mean, you're ideally placed to answer this, really, in the changing landscape of London's working environment.
Yes, yes.
I don't know what's going into this building. I don't even know if you know that yet.
It's offices. It'll be commercial.
Right. Okay. So, do we need that kind of floor space now?
Well, that's the thing. You've touched on that's a really good question. Look, the City of London is London's financial district, and we're, for obvious reasons, turn on the news. We need our economy to grow. So London needs more office space, commercial space, in order to kind of maintain its position. London's either the first or the second financial city in the world, whichever it kind of alternates between London and New York. So it's important. But there is an argument to say that cities like Paris has higher productivity than London, and Paris has banned tall buildings from its centre. So there's no argument to say that tall buildings are essential for productivity. And also, because we tend to put tall buildings in the historic zone, it does lead to these controversies and tensions between various groups who say, we need these tall buildings for economic health, but then there's others who say, but it's harming our heritage. It's harming what London's character. We're not Toronto. We're not New York. We're not Dubai. London's altogether different. And do these tall buildings just make the city look like any other central business district in the world? So these are all the kind of debates that are kind of surround tall buildings in London, because we are an old city. We're different to other more modern cities. We've been around for a long time.
Funnily enough, I couldn't resist jumping onto Google Maps just to have a look at what's there now, which is a pretty sort of brutalistic concrete pile, isn't it? So
brutalist light, yes.
Yeah, brutalist light. There is a lot of glass in there, but not as much as there's going to be. Hence the nickname for this new structure, which we're already calling the Jewel, largely because of its sort of intricate diamond diamond sort of glass design when you come to the sort of top of it. And there will be a public viewing platform. I understand that's part and parcel of any skyscraper planning design, isn't it?
There will be, but again, how many public viewing platforms do you need? A tiny part of, they all have them now. And I got it. When you have the City of London and, Tower 42, the old NatWest Tower, that was pretty much the prominent tall building in the city until the construction of the Gherkin in the early 1990s. Then, yes, you couldn't go to the top. You can go to the top of Tower 42 now. You couldn't back then. But yes, there was a real excitement about, wow, we can get to the top of the building, you get this wonderful view. But now, when you have all this cluster of tall buildings all next to each other, and they all offer kind of public galleries, yes, it's good to have public access. It's a good thing. It makes private buildings more public and more open. But should it really be used as a kind of term in order to attract planning favour? I'm not really sure.
Well, funnily enough, I think in this particular building it'll be on the 20th floor, and I wonder at that height whether you'll actually be able to see anything other than what's going on on the 20th floor opposite you. So.
There you go, exactly. Because again, the city's very different to the way it used to be. A 20th floor viewing gallery, 20 years ago would have been a big deal, but now it's much more a kind of humdrum kind of asset, I would say. So there you go.
Well, look, it's been approved, so it's coming. How soon do you think before we'll see it start to take shape? There's a lot to do first, isn't there?
There is a lot to do, but planning tends to be the hardest thing in the City of London because of, as I said, the kind of controversies over heritage. Various bodies need to be consulted. So it does have planning permission. That is significant, but it's by no means, it's a done deal in planning terms, but there's still lots of obstacles and hurdles to be overcome. But look, the City of London is dynamic. It's a business centre, and you have a planning authority that's very, very sympathetic and in favour of tall buildings. So this is going to happen. It won't happen next year or maybe in the year after that, but definitely I would be very surprised if this didn't come onto the board, if this wasn't a feature of our skyline in the next few years.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. And it does send a message, doesn't it? London is a vibrant and exciting city, dynamic, there's lots going on. It'll pale into insignificance next to some of the skyscrapers being built in other cities around the world, but we're still building.
We are still building, but I just wish, and the report we did for Policy Exchange, we did a big report last year on tall buildings. Look, tall buildings can be beautiful. They can be exhilarating. The idea of humans touching the sky is something that's captivated human thoughts from Gothic cathedrals to now. And London's no stranger to it. For a period in the 14th century, the old St. Paul's was the tallest building on earth, and the tallest building in the world. So, London is no stranger to tall buildings, but the problem you tend to get in London is the design quality isn't normally up to it. How many memorable tall buildings can people reel off their off head in comparison to how many have actually been built over the last 10, 20, 25 years? And often, as I said before, the planning issue, the kind of sensitive location of it, and this detraction from kind of London's charm and character, these are some of the things that can be a worry when it comes to tall building design. And we've always said the best way to get around this is not ban tall buildings. We shouldn't do that. As you say, they can be symbols of a dynamic, thriving economy, but have a plan, have a framework, which most other cities have. London doesn't. Paris has one, New York has one, Frankfurt, which just says these tall buildings should be excellently designed and be more rigorous about where they're located so they don't do any harm. I just wish that happened more often in London, but it doesn't at the moment.
Funnily enough, just zooming out from my Google Maps zoom in on the location, actually on the 20th floor of this new particular jewel-like structure, you will have a stunning view of the Tower of London. So that juxtaposition.
Well, there you go. Well, it's interesting you mention that, because the Tower of London is obviously, it's been around for almost 1,000 years old. Yeah. It's an icon, a symbol of London. But they complain incessantly that they are now rendered visually irrelevant by all these towers behind it. And I did a tour guide a few years ago, and a lovely Polish man asked me, "Oh, what's that little kind of funny-looking castle there?" And he meant the Tower of London. And because of what we've done in the city, because of all these tall buildings, the stuff that really matters to London's heritage and character and international reputation has kind of been overwhelmed. So I just wish we had a better balance. The modern stuff as well as the kind of iconic heritage assets that a lot of people think about when they think of London.
It's good to hear somebody in your position say that, Ike. I have to say, nice to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for your time. Ike Ijeh, the Head of Housing, Architecture and Urban Space at Policy Exchange.